Good morning, students. Today we are discussing the anterior triangle of the neck region. What are the competencies? So one is the describe boundaries and subdivisions of anterior triangle. Second one, describe and demonstrate boundaries and contents of muscular, carotid, digastric, and submental triangles. Now first we will discuss the boundaries of the anterior triangle of the neck. What are the boundaries are present in the neck region? See, the neck region boundaries medially, the anterior medial plane of the neck, laterally by the sternocleidomastoid muscle, superiorly by the base of the mandible of mastoid process, base of the mandible to mastoid process. So the boundaries, one is the medially anterior medial plane of the neck, laterally sternocleidomastoid muscle, superiorly base of the mandible to mastoid process. So this anterior triangle divided by the some important muscles. So what are the muscles are present in the anterior triangle region? It is again divided into two parts: above the suprahyoid bone and below the hyoid bone. Suprahyoid muscles and infrahyoid muscles are there. What are they? Suprahyoid muscles are digastric muscle. It is having the two bellies, anterior belly and posterior belly of the digastric muscle. Stylohyoid, mylohyoid, and geniohyoid muscles are present in the suprahyoid region. Whereas the infrahyoid region, we can identify the sternohyoid muscle, sternothyroid muscle, sternohyoid, and omohyoid muscles. Omohyoid having the two bellies are there. One is the superior belly of the omohyoid that is present in the neck region. That is separate by the there is a sternocleidomastoid below. We can identify the inferior belly of the omohyoid muscle. So these are the muscles are present in the anterior triangle of the neck region. This anterior triangle subdivided by two important muscles are there. One is the digastric muscle, another one superior belly of the omohyoid muscle. Then again this anterior triangle divided into four triangles are there. One is the submental, digastric, carotid triangle, muscular triangle. These are the four triangles divided by this digastric belly and superior belly of the omohyoid. So these four triangles, right side four and left side four triangles, that is a submental below the mentis, below the mental region. See is symphysis menti. Next is the digastric region. Above the digastric belly, there we can identify carotid triangle, where we are identify the carotid artery, common carotid artery, divided into internal and external carotid region, blood vessels. Muscular triangle. In this muscular triangle, only the muscles are present, important muscles that are the strap muscles. That's why we are calling it is a muscular triangle. So right side four triangles and left side four triangles are present in the anterior triangle of the neck region. Next, first we'll discuss the, see here, we can identify this is the digastric, anterior belly of the digastric. This is the posterior belly of the digastric muscle. Next is the, here we can identify the hyoid bone. This is a submandibular region that I also get called the digastric triangle. Here we can identify submental triangle below the mental region. Next is here we can identify muscular triangle. This is a carotid triangle is there. This is the posterior belly of the omohyoid muscle and this hyoid bone. This is the, we can identify superior belly of the omohyoid muscle. Superior belly of the omohyoid, posterior belly of the digastric muscle, sternocleidomastoid muscle. This is a carotid triangle. Carotid triangle, submandibular triangle, and next is the submental muscular triangle. These are all present in the, this is the anti-triangular region. See, and if you make a one imaginary line from the symphysis menti to up to the jugular notch, then divide into neck region into anterior region, right side and left side. See, this is the, this is an imaginary lining. This is the base of the mandible to mastoid process. This is laterally by the sternocleidomastoid. In front of this sternocleidomastoid, we can identify the anterior triangle. This anterior triangle again divided by two muscles, superior belly of the omohyoid digastric muscles. These two muscles separated into anti-triangle, four triangles: carotid triangle, muscular triangle, mandibular triangle, submandibular, otherwise digastric triangle, submental triangle. These are the four triangles we are identifying in the anterior triangular region in the neck region. See here, after separating the skin, superfacia, next we can identify the muscles. See, this is the digastric belly, anterior belly, posterior belly of the digastric, submandibular region. That is also called digastric triangle. This is the muscular triangle. Here we can identify the submental triangle. This is the carotid triangle. This is a carotid triangle, carotid, submandibular, submental, muscular triangle. This area fully it is known as a anterior triangle of the neck region. From here to up to the mastoid process, from the where the insertion of the sternocleidomastoid muscle from here to here, this is the lateral boundary of this anterior triangle, middle boundary by the imaginal line, that is a submentary to jugular notch. This is the anterior triangle. This is divided by the two muscles, digastric muscles and superior belly of the humeroid. This is the superior belly of the humeroid muscle. So this is the carotid triangle, submandibular triangle, also called the digastric, submental triangle, muscular triangle. These are the triangles are present in the anterior triangle of the neck region. First, we'll discuss the carotid triangle, important triangle. What are the boundaries, how it is formed, what are the contents present in the carotid triangle. So boundaries are anterior-superiorly by the posterior belly of the digastric muscle and anterior-inferiorly by the superior belly of the humeroid muscle. See, these two muscles separates in that anterior triangle, posterior belly of the digastric and superior belly of the humeroid muscle, and posteriorly by the anterior part of the sternocleidomastoid muscle. So posteriorly bounded by the sternocleidomastoid muscle, anterosuperior by the posterior belly of the digastric muscle, anteroinferior by the superior belly of the humeroid muscle. These are the boundaries of the carotid triangle. Next is the what are the roof? Roof is formed by the skin, superficial fascia. See, this is superficial fascia containing the superficial fascia modified in this neck region as a platysma. Platysma we are identified, that is the platysma muscle is a superficial modified fascia. Next, and also we can identify the fifth branch, cervical branch of the facial nerve. Also we are identifying here transverse cutaneous nerve of the neck region and investing layer of the deep cervical fascia. These are the forms the roof of the carotid triangle, whereas the floor is formed by the two constrictor muscles of the pharynx and thyroid membrane. See, this is the triangle, carotid triangle. We are identifying this is a platysma. After separating the platysma, this is a platysma muscle. Next is this is the investing layer of the deep fascia of the neck region. Here we are identifying, after separating this, we can identify the carotid triangle. This is the carotid triangle. See here the diagram, carotid triangle. So what are the contents? The arteries are here, mainly the common carotid. It is going to reach to in here, divided into anterior and internal and external carotid artery branches, carotid artery, and also external carotid artery branches. Also, we are identifying here. That is the one is the superior thyroid artery, lingual artery, facial artery, ascending pharyngeal artery, occipital artery. So these are the arteries are present in the carotid triangle. Where the veins are internal jugular vein, common facial vein, it drains into the internal jugular vein, and lingual vein, which is usually terminates in the internal jugular vein. So how it is forms the internal jugular? You know that after I think we are not did the brain dissection. So in that sinuses are there like a transverse sinus, straight sinus, sigmoid sinus. These are all collect the venous blood from the brain. It is passing through the jugular foramen as continuation as a jugular internal jugular vein. It is directly entered into the carotid triangle. So that is the internal jugular veins. These are the blood vessels. See here the common carotid. It is divided into, this is the external carotid artery. This is the internal carotid artery. This external carotid artery give a branches like a superior thyroid artery going to supplies to the thyroid gland, ascending pharyngeal branch, facial, lingual, occipital, auriculotemporal branch. These are the terminal branches of the external carotid artery. One is the maxillary artery, superficial temporal. But these two are the terminal branches. These are not present. These and auricular. These are not present in the internal the carotid triangle. See here, Here we can identify internal jugular vein. This is a common facial vein, how it is drains. Next is the nerves are present here. One is the vagus nerve. It is a 10th cranial nerve directly passing through the internal jugular vein, enter into the neck region, that is in the carotid triangle. Next is the superior laryngeal branch of the vagus nerve and spinal axis nerve, 11th cranial nerve also we are identifying in this carotid region. Next, hypoglossal nerve, 12th cranial nerve. This is also we are identifying. And also in the deeply, we can identify the sympathetic chain runs downwards posterior to the carotid sheath. So carotid sheath posteriorly we are identifying the sympathetic chain. In front of the carotid sheath, we are identifying the ansa cervicalis. I can show later. This is a diagrammatically diagram. This is a common carotid artery divided into external carotid, internal carotid artery. And also here we are identifying the cranial nerve, vagus nerve is there. This is a hypoglossal nerve. This is a superior laryngeal nerve divided into external and internal laryngeal nerves. These are the some nerves and blood vessels present in the carotid triangle. What is the carotid sheath? This is the carotid sheath. How you know that the axillary sheath, how it is forms and cover the axillary blood vessels. And the same here also, the carotid artery, carotid triangle, the blood vessels like internal jugular vein, common carotid, internal carotid artery. These are the blood vessels covered with the carotid sheath is there. It is extending nothing but a investing layer of the neck region and the prevertebral sheath covered and protect to here. So the sheath in front we are identifying the ansa cervicalis, posteriorly sympathetic chain we are identifying. Next, what is the common carotid? How it is? It is a branch of which artery? So right side common carotid artery, left side common carotid artery, it is different. Right side common carotid artery, it is a branch of the brachiocephalic artery, whereas the left side common carotid artery is a branch of the arch of aorta, direct branch from the arch of aorta. But whereas here in the right side, brachiocephalic. These two are the right and left common carotid artery extending upwards and passing through the root of the neck region. Next, it is entering into the neck and reach to the lateral side and anti-triangle, where exactly it is entering into the carotid triangle. See, after reaching to here, we can identify the common carotid at the level of the superior thyroid cartilage, superior margin or the border of the thyroid cartilage level. This common carotid arteries is right and left the same, divided into external carotid arteries and internal carotid artery. See here, this important landmark. This may expect the Viva as well as the MCQ question. At the level of the upper border of the thyroid cartilage, the artery end by dividing into external and internal carotid arteries. This is a very, very important landmark. Division of the common carotid into external and internal carotid arteries. Next, we are identify the carotid sinus. Carotid sinus also there, where it is terminates. That sinus always it is extending towards the sinus always towards the internal carotid artery. That is the indication of this. Termination of the common carotid artery, it begins the internal carotid artery shows a slight dilatation. See here. So carotid artery where it is internal carotid artery is there is a somewhat it is dilatation is there. That is the carotid sinus. Carotid sinus, it is important is there. It is acting like a baroreceptor or pressure receptors, and it regulates the blood pressure. So when the forcefully the blood is pumping from the arch of aorta from this common carotid, the blood pressure is decreasing. When it is need, it is increasing. When it is need, not need, it is a decreasing. The pressure is acting like a pressure receptors, regulates the blood pressure in the common carotid. That is the carotid sinus and responds to the change in the oxygen and carbon dioxide pH content in the blood. So this is the importance of the carotid body. It is physiologically, but anatomically carotid sinus is there that maintain the pressure, blood pressure. See here, the diagrammatically they are given this is carotid body, this is a carotid sinus. The sinus always continuation as the internal carotid artery. This is the external carotid artery and its branches. This is a superior thyroid artery. This is ascending pharyngeal artery, lingual artery. This is a facial artery. This is a maxillary artery. Here the occipital artery. This is the transcervical. These are the superficial temporal branches. These are the 8 branches are there given by the external carotid artery. See, external carotid artery. It is the carotid artery. It is one of the terminal branch of the common carotid. It generally lies anterior to the internal carotid artery. It is a chief artery for the face region and the neck region going to supplies. It give a 8 branches. It give a 8 branches. How it is? So this external carotid artery begins at the carotid triangle at the level of the upper border of the thyroid cartilage. So where it is divides like a common carotid, same upper part of the thyroid cartilage opposite the disc between the T3 and C3 and C4 cervical vertebral region. So next this external carotid artery give a branches. That is one is the external carotid artery. See here branches, 8 branches are there. Anterior to this external carotid artery, we can identify the superior thyroid artery. This is going to suppress to the thyroid gland. And while doing the dissection, superior thyroid is very, very important in the surgically also. Accompanied with the external laryngeal nerve is passing and going to suppress to their superior thyroid artery. Next is the lingual artery. It is going to suppress to the tongue region. Facial artery going to reach to suppress to the face region, exactly in front of the. So it is crossing to the base of the mandible, in front of the where the masseter muscle is there. There we can also palpate this pulsating also facial artery. Next, the posterior to this occipital artery, it is going to reach to supplies to the occipital region. Occipital bellies are there. Posterior auricular artery that is going to reach to supply the posterior to the auricular region muscles. And medially ascending pharyngeal branch. Ascending pharyngeal. This is going to supply to the pharynx. Next is the terminal branches. 2 branches are there. Maxillary artery, it is going to supply to the maxillary region. It give a 3 branches, first part, second part, third part, and going to supply the maxillary region. In detail, we can show. Next is the superficial temporal branch is going to supply to the temporal region. Temporalis muscle. Just we can also palpate, taking the pulsation also. Pulse also we can palpate. Just you put a 1 finger in front of the auricle. This is a pinna. You press it. We can also finding the pulse. That is the external carotid artery. External terminal. That is a superficial temporal branch. This is a superior thyroid artery, ascending pharyngeal, lingual artery. This is the occipital artery. This is a facial artery. This is a, here we can add a maxillary artery, transverse facial artery. This is a superficial temporal arteries. Next, we are identifying ansa cervical or ansa hypoglossae. Ansa means surrounding, around the cervical region. This is present while doing the dissection, while approaching to the common carotid as well as the internal and external carotid artery. Before only, we can identify it in front of the carotid sheath. It make a 1 loop. It is formed by the thin loop. It is formed by the ascending root, a superior root, and the inferior root. See how it is formed. It is formed by the superior and inferior roots. The superior root is communication of branch of the descending branch of the hypoglossal nerve. See, hypoglossal nerve, how to identify where the lingual artery it loops and crossed by the hypoglossal nerve. That is very clearly very easy to identifying this hypoglossal nerve. So that is going to reach to the tongue region. It gives some communication branching, that is a superior root. That some of the fibers derived from the first cervical nerve going to form a superior root of the ansa cervicalis. It descends. Whereas the descending cervical nerves are derived from the C2 and C3. These are descending branches C2, C3 make around the in front of the that is the carotid sheath and make a loop ansa cervicalis. Then ascending superior root is there, that is formed by the C1 accompanied with the hypoglossal communicating branch. That is the formation of the ansa cervicalis is exactly in front of the carotid sheath. See, it winds round internal jugular vein and then continuation anterior inferior to join the superior root in front of the common carotid artery. So it make a loop. What are the branches it giving? One is the superior root that give a branch to superior belly of the homoid muscle. Ansa cervicalis only loop that give a branch sternohyoid, sternothyroid, and inferior belly of the humoid muscles. Whereas the thyroid, genioid, these two muscles are supplied by the separate from the first cervical now through the hypoglossal. Now this is very very important. Hypoglossal answer cervical is expert the short notes as well as the MCQ question. This is very important. That is a thyroid, genioid only supplied by the C1 cervical now through the hypoglossal now. So not from this the answer cervical is separate supplied by this. See the diagram here. This is a very thin loop. This is a hypoglossal now. It gives small loop communication branch comes downwards and unite with the C1 now comes downwards and make a loop U shape is there. Then unite with the C2 and C3 now cervical branches. C2 3 descends, make an answer cervicalis loop U shape and this ascending communication branch from the hypoglossal now and C1. This form a answer cervicalis. See here we will form a like a C1 now going to supply to the genioid muscle and supra thyroid superior thyroid muscle. Whereas here see a loop of the answer cervical is going to supply to the these muscles thyroid, thyroid, sternothyroid muscles. This is a loop going to sub posterior belly, inferior belly of the homoid muscle. This is the answer cervical, very thin loop around in front of the carotid sheath. It is formed by the ascending and descending roots. Next, another triangles are muscular triangle. Only here muscles only we are identifying. It is boundaries are anterior by the anterior medial line of the neck from the hyoid bone to the sternum. If you make a line, and posterior superior by the posterior superior belly of the homoid muscle, posterior inferior by the anterior part of the sternocleidomastoid muscle. This is not important very much, but still we are not we won't identifying this muscular triangle in the examination, but you should know where it is present, what are the muscles present in the muscular triangle. See here, this is a muscular triangle here. This is a muscular triangle means infrahyoid muscles. The infrahyoid muscles that are going to make a that is a muscular triangle. But here see submental triangle. This is a submental triangle. Below this symphysementi, we can identify this is a muscular triangle, submental triangle. This is a muscular triangle, submental triangle. This is a digastric or submandibular region. Submental triangle. See the boundaries on each side by the anterior belly of the digastric muscle on both sides. Base is for body of the hyoid bone. Apex lies in the at the chin region. Floor is found by the mylohyoid muscle. This is only we identify submental region. Very not important to know very much to control. Carotid triangle is very important, not for the submental. Next, digastric triangle is there. It is a triangular. It is bounded by the where it is present submandibular region, anteriorly bounded by the anterior belly of the digastric, posteriorly by the CL submental digastric, the anterior belly of the digastric, anteriorly, posteriorly by the posterior belly of the digastric. Base is found at base of the mandible up to the mastoid process. This is a submandibular region, and also we are identifying digastric triangle. In this region, we are identify the contains submandibular gland, facial vein, facial artery, hypoglossal nerve. These are the contents, important contents are present in the digastric triangle. That is the submandibular region, and separate theory class is there, separate dissection is there. Then we will discuss that submandibular region exactly. Next, what we now we are knows the anatomical, what are the boundaries and contents, that what are the triangles form, you knows now. So now what is the importance clinically? What is the common carotid artery can be compressed against the, so we can also compress at the level of the 6th cervical vertebra, that is carotid tubercle, by pressing medially and posteriorly within the thumb. Sometimes we can palpate that also compress. Next is a carotid sinus syndrome is important. This sinus hypersensitivity, pressure on sinuses can cause enough slowing of heart rate, fall in blood pressure, and cerebral ischemia. So blood pressure is if it is decreasing, automatically blood supply to the cerebrum and the cranial region less, then automatically cerebral ischemia that will leads to the fainting, means syncope, that is fainting. So when it is happening, individuals with hypertensive carotid sinus often had sudden attacks of the syncope, that is a fainting, and rotation of the head, especially when the wearing of shirt with tight collar, tie with the tight knot condition is called the carotid sinus syndrome. So when wearing the tie or the tight neck of the shirts, when the rotation of the neck at that time, the collar may compressed to the sinus. Then automatically blood pressure decreasing, blood supply to the brain very less. That time cerebral ischemia may happen. That is known as the carotid sinus syndrome. And symptoms can be relieved by periarterial neurectomy. This is a carotid sinus syndrome. So case based. Sometimes this asking no now the new curriculum according to. So see here the question: a 35-year-old man complained to his physician that he is a victim of sudden attacks of the syncope, fainting from the sudden rotation of his head, especially when wearing the tight collar or tie. He was told by the physician that he was suffering from a disease called the carotid sinus syndrome and surgical procedure may be needed to relieve his symptoms. This is a question like a base case. What is the question we are expecting? What is the carotid sinus we are expecting? What are the functions of the carotid sinus? Mention the nerve supply of the carotid sinus. Mention the surgical procedure performed to relieve the symptoms. So, what is the carotid sinus? You know that it is a pisiform dilatation of the terminal part of the common carotid artery and the commencement of the internal carotid artery. So, which side is the common carotid artery divides where it divides? External and internal. Internal carotid artery, it is dilates the starting point. That is known as the common carotid that is a carotid sinus. Second, what are the functions of the carotid sinus? That is it is the main pressure receptors of the body and regulates the blood pressures in the cerebral arteries. So it is very important, regulates the blood pressure in the cerebral arteries. Next is the third question. Mention the nerve supply of the carotid sinus. So carotid sinus branch of the glossopharyngeal nerve going to supplies entering the vagus nerve cervical sympathetic chain. It is going to supply surgical procedures. What are the release? So these are the case-based questions we are expecting from this. What is a carotid sinus syndrome? Important. You can read and expecting this question in the examinations like a case-based. So this is a anti-triangle. What are the boundaries and contents? And remaining triangles like a how it is subdivided by the digastric bellies and homohyoid into submental, muscular, digastric, carotid sinus, carotid triangles. These are where it is important is the carotid sinus, very important. We are expecting the LAQ question. Otherwise, they may expect the short notes also. Sometimes they may, sometimes we are expecting direct question short notes. Facial artery described, lingual artery described, maxillary artery described. Short notes. We are expecting the external carotid artery branches. So this is the importance to know this the anterior triangle of the neck region. Thank you.